Hello, this is All Hail Kiwi, and today I'm doing a mock draft. This is my 10th time trying to do this. Long story, recording's not working. I'm just gonna get into this. So this is before free agency. Franchise tagging has already happened, but yeah, this is before free agency. I will update this at some point, but yeah, for right now, this is just what I'm doing. So number one, Trevor Lawrence, pretty obvious. I think most people are on board with that. Pretty much everybody. Number two, I do think Zach Wilson. I do think that. I'm sorry, I'm coughing. I was getting a bit mad earlier with the crashings, but yeah. Anyway, Zach Wilson to the Jets. I do think that they traded Sam Darnold, and I do think Zach Wilson is better than Justin Fields, and yeah. So yeah, it's number two, and then the Dolphins. My Dolphins. I think we could go. We're either gonna go Panay or Jamar Chase. Although I do think that we address offensive line more in free agency, and hopefully Isaiah Wilson works out. I would not. I'm not like. You don't want to depend on someone that's okay. So there's a reason he's not on this team anymore. The Titans drafted him in the first round last year. He's on our team now. A year later, our first round pick. He was basically free. So you just gotta hope he works out. But you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. But yeah, and as you see later, you can get a tackle later in the first round because we have two first round picks. The Falcons, Justin Fields. Matt Ryan is getting older, and Justin Fields he could sit and learn for a year or two, and then once he's ready, he can start. The Bengals, Penei Sewell. I think there's a chance that the Dolphins and the Bengals trade because they really need Penei Sewell. Their offensive line. The reason Joe Burrow got hurt is just horrendous, and Penei Sewell really help the offensive line. The Eagles. I do think Devontae Smith after their receiving core has gone down. Um, this could be Kyle Pitts with Zach Ertz probably leaving. They're like two tight ends, but I do think the receiving core is just who they have. Jalen Reagor, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, not a great combo. Yeah, and the lines, I do have Micah Parsons here. I do think this could be Jalen Waddle with Kenny Golladay most likely leaving. They did not use the tag on him. Although this is a rebuild, so I don't know. I think they'll probably address that free agency. The Panthers, I don't think the Panthers go with Trey Lance here. They have expressed that they're not exactly interested in Teddy Bridgewater staying as their quarterback for the future. So maybe have him come in, sit for a year or two, which is what Trey Lance probably needs, and probably end up being really good. The Broncos, I think the Broncos and the Cowboys are both taking corners probably. Uh, and I think it's kind of a toss of the hat, but I think it's gonna go this way with Farley and Surtain. I guess you could see the Cowboys going with Kyle Pitts, maybe. Although I do think that their defense is a much bigger need. And yeah. But then the Giants are on the board. I think this is receiver Jalen Waddle. Their receiving core is kind of lackluster, and Jalen Waddle could really help that out. Now, the 49ers, the 49ers is interesting. They do need corners. Most of their cornerback core is leaving. Although I do think they address that more in free agency. And with Rashawn Slater sitting there, I think that's a good pick there. Sorry to hear the dogs in the background. I have a lot. Yeah, so moving on, the Chargers. With Hunter Henry, they did not use the franchise tag on Hunter Henry. They could still bring him back in free agency, but I do think that Kyle Pitts would be a really good addition to that offense to help to give Justin Herbert more weapons. And I don't think he falls this far. I don't know. I think he's a top 5 player, but this tight end is not much of a need for many teams up there. And now the Vikings, I think in real life they're probably going to trade this spot. Although for me, I have them taking Elijah Vera Tucker to help out the offensive line, which is not exactly great. But yeah, and now like okay. So the Patriots, I do have them taking Mac Jones. Um, They did just re-sign Cam Newton to it 1 year to an extra year, but it never hurts to have a quarterback. He can sit and develop behind Cam Newton, and then next year or in 2 years, whenever he's ready, that he can start and be the next Patriots quarterback. Now the Cardinals, I do think this is corner, J.C. Horn. Their cornerbacks. They have Patrick Peterson leaving, and besides Byron Murphy, they don't really have much else there. So I think he'll be a great addition to that lacking cornerback core. And now you have the Raiders, and I do think this is an edge. their last couple of their last couple of drafts have been not fantastic. Cleveland Ferrell, Damon Arnett, all that. So I do think they need it. I think they take Gregory Rousseau. He is boomer bust. Although with the amount of just safe kind of non-flashy picks, I think they need to take someone like that. Now the Dolphins, see this works out because you have Jamar Chase, and then now you have Christian Darrisaw right there at 18. I think there's a good chance, there's a decent chance that one of these tackles falls to 18. And now the football team, they're Washington, the football team. They obviously quarterback is in need. I don't know if they're gonna use Heineke or not, but I would not take Kyle Trask here. So I do think they go Rashad Bateman. And then the Bears, another team. This is another team that could that if Mac Jones falls here, I don't think he falls past here. If any of those top 5 quarterbacks fall past here, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna take Kyle Trask here. Right now all they have is Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky, who is leaving. But I do think this is load. I think Samuel Cosme could be a good place to help up their offensive line, which is not exactly fantastic. And now the Colts, another team that could use a tackle. I think Tevin Jenkins would be a really good addition there. I think if J.C. Horn is there, there's a good chance they take him, but obviously in this situation he's not. And the Titans, I do think they take an edge here to help with that pass rush. They could take a receiver with Corey Davis leaving, although they could bring him back, but I do think Kwity Paye is a good pick for them. Now the Jets could go a lot of different directions here. The Jets need a lot. The Jets, I mean, most of their roster is not very good, although I do think that you need to get Zach Wilson. I do think you need to get Zach Wilson a weapon. I think Kadarius Toney could be a pretty good weapon for him. And now the Steelers. I do think the tackle offensive line is a need, and I think Jalen Mayfield could help that out with Pouncey retiring, who is a center, I know, but just the entire offensive line is gonna be a bit downgraded. So I think Jalen Mayfield could help that, and I think I think the Jaguars I do think they take Liam Eichenberg to help protect Trevor Lawrence because you do not want a Joe Burrow situation. So I think that's a pretty good pick for them. And now the Browns, I do think that edge is a pretty big need, but Jeremiah JOK is at 26. I do think they take him to help with the linebacking core. And the Ravens, receiver is they definitely need more receivers. Hollywood Brown has been pretty good, but nothing crazy. And besides that, they don't really have much else. So I do think Terrace Marshall is a good addition to that. And now the Saints, they still have they're still I believe more than negative 20 mil in the hole. And yes, the Saints, their cap situation is not great, so I think they are gonna probably need to cut a few more players, but they could do. I do think Jalen Phillips could go here. I think that's a pretty good fit out of that defense. Now the Packers, they need this. They just do not like to draft receivers for some reason. Besides Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, he could use some help. There's a reason they lose in the NFC Championship game every year, and I think Rondale Moore could definitely help that out. Now the Bills, I've seen a lot of people milk one of the two running backs to the Bills, which I could see. Although I'm going with Asante Samuel to help out that corner. Besides Travius White, I think that'd be a pretty good combo. And now the Chiefs, I wouldn't originally probably not do this, but might be a bit of a reach. But they released Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, so you saw what happened in the Super Bowl. Mahomes is running for his life, and they need to address that. So yeah, I think he'll definitely help them. And then the Buccaneers get some edge, Azeez Ojulari. So yeah, that is my mock draft. Thank you for watching. This video has been a pain in the ass to make. This is the 10th time I've done it, but I finally got my recording done. So yeah, make sure to let me know what you think. I will be updating this at some point after free agency. But yeah, thanks for watching and bye.